I'm just like you, you're just like me. We can't stop watching these movies. Is it a curse? No, it's a dream come true. Yes, I'm a Barbie girl like you. Hello, and thank you for joining us for another meeting of the Barbie Council. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Brianna.
And as experts in the field, we've been appointed to provide the public with a chronological record of the ever expanding Barbie cinematic universe. While our meetings are available to the general public, it should be noted that the content is not suitable for children. In today's session, we're covering Barbie and the Magic of Pegasus, the sixth Barbie movie, and also, I found this out, the first and only movie that was in 3D.
It was in 3D.
Yeah, it was in 3D. I don't know if you could tell from a couple of the scenes, but there were some scenes where they like pulled the characters up really close to the camera to try to make it look 3D if you were wearing the Spy Kids 3D glasses or whatever.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my God. So some of the early DVDs came with 3D glasses?
I guess. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure the rollout of it, because it aired originally on TV and then it came out on DVD afterwards. So the TV version was probably regular, and then the movie itself is has an option of 3D. Yeah, I don't know.
Man, I'm sad we missed out on the 3D.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of it.
To be either.
So yes, this is the sixth Barbie movie back in 2005. This one came out, and I did not remember a whole lot of this one, but I was very surprised at the more adult themes in this one. We have a main villain who is a kidnapper and abuser, and we also
Yeah.
have a side plot of someone gambling away his parents' money and running away because he can't face them again.
Yeah.
That I did not remember some of this.
Yeah. A little bit more adult themes.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of a surprise. Did you remember much of this one coming into it?
I think it was a case of where I remembered the beginning fairly well, but then the middle and end I could not remember because it was one where I would fall asleep watching it.
As a lot of them were, I think.
Yeah, yeah, that's the majority of them.
But let's get into this. So the overarching plot here is that we have Annika, who is Barbie, in this kingdom in the snowy mountainside, and her parents do not want her to go outside. She doesn't know why, and when she goes out, they have this bell that they ring within her room, and everybody immediately knows that she's gone. I don't know if she notices or cares that there is this big bell in her room that they can just ring at any time. But it is the she is gone bell, because as soon as it's rung, everybody knows. Like, what if she rings
Yeah,
it
the
on
princess is
accident?
missing. Oh, uh-oh. Wonder if that's ever happened.
That was weird. But she loves ice skating, so of course she has to go out and do all of this ice skating. And right away, we are introduced to the animal sidekick of this movie,
Ugh.
Shiver, the polar bear cub, who is like a baby in like
Yeah,
how it talks. It's like it's basically going goo goo gaga with like all of the sounds that it's making.
I really hate the baby talk. It's so annoying.
Yeah,
Like
it's really annoying.
it only says a few words like
Sparkle over like
sparkle,
Sparkle is half of its vocabulary.
sparkle, sparkle. It's like a little Pokemon or
But it
something.
understands words because Annika asks the bear about like if it has any family, and it shakes its head no, so it
So I can understand.
understands. It
It
understands.
just doesn't
Understands
really
English.
speak.
Um, but yeah, it's annoying. It's not as annoying as some of the other animal sidekicks that we have later. I think because it doesn't speak, so it can't be a
Yeah.
like a super annoying character and like what it's talking about and just being super obnoxious. But I will say I really don't like it.
I am not a fan. Its personality traits are that it's obsessed with like jewels
Shiny
and
things,
gold
because it's sparkle
sparkle.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's also obsessed with the prince. No, he's not even a prince. The dude we meet
Yeah,
later.
the dude.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Because they're always princes, but not in this case. He's not. But the polar bear is just like obsessed with
Yeah,
him.
like
It's a
hitting on
little
him. It's
uncomfortable.
weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I thought you were a baby. What's the deal
And you're
here?
also a bear.
Yeah.
You're also a bear cub.
There's
Come
two
on.
things. And the bear is like super clumsy. It's always slipping on shit and sliding down things. I
They're
think there was like
always causing
four,
problems.
yeah, there's like four separate times where the bear like falls and slides down an ice chute
Yeah.
or
Or a
slide
slide or a...
again. Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, there it goes
Speaking
again.
of, there's another moment right after this where she's done ice skating. She's really good at ice skating. She is a
She
god.
is.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. God
and she
tier for
goes
sure.
back to the castle and she brings this polar bear because it has no family. It told her that it has no family. So
Uh-huh.
she brings it back to the castle and tries to like sneak it into a room, and she like hides it behind the stairs when her parents see her, and she goes and starts talking to them. It's like, oh, like where were you and whatnot. And then the bear, of course, just falls down the stairs and it's like, oh, here I am.
God, yeah. And the parents, for good reason, are like, what are you doing with a bear? Like, we can't have a bear in the castle.
Although I will say, the mom, the first thing that she says is so cute. Like her
Oh,
first thought is, oh, it's so cute. And then she goes, but it could scratch your eyes out and germs.
uh-huh.
And think
And
of the
germs.
germs.
Yeah, yeah.
Scratch your eyes out,
What's
germs.
worse? Hmm.
The two biggest things for the polar bear. But yeah, the first thought wasn't like what is that? What is that doing here? It's like, oh, so cute. Also, it
Wait
could
a
claw
second.
your eyes out.
Yeah, and germs. Gross.
Yeah, the
Also, the
germs.
mom is like really hot. She's like
Oh yeah.
MILF status. And then the
The
king,
the king in these
not.
movies is always just like the fat dude. I feel like it's been that
Yeah.
way. Well, for some of the kings, like in Rapunzel, there were two kings in that, and he reminds me of the larger set king from that movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say I recognized the model, but I couldn't remember exactly which
I don't think it's the
movie it was
same
from.
model, but he's definitely got similar physical features.
Yeah, yeah. He's just, I mean, compared to her, he's not the most attractive.
No, but in this world, he probably has the money or something. He's a
Well, he's
king.
a king, so
Yeah,
yeah. But the parents forbid her from ice skating. Um
they forbid her from
and
going out
well,
without
yeah, yeah, just
without their
everything.
permission.
And then she goes, "It's not fair. You don't understand anything." She storms off crying, and then she goes, "You're ruining my life." It's classic teenage
How
behavior.
old is she, you think? Barbie looks
Hmm.
like the Barbie model looks older than a teenager to me.
I know she does kind of look like
She,
she's in her
yeah,
20s.
so when I saw that, there was like a disconnect where I'm like, she's talking like she's 15 or 16 years old, but in my brain, it's like she's like 21 or 22.
Yeah, I bet she's supposed to be like
I
16.
think so, yeah.
And it was her birthday, so maybe it was her sweet
Could have
16.
been. No celebration. Nothing.
No,
We just get this bear.
that's her present, I
Yeah.
guess.
She goes back to her room, and the bear again is super into all of the like jewels and stuff. And instead of saying sparkle, it says barkle for some reason. Like it's cut off or something. A
Barkle.
barkle. It sounded really stupid. I had to like listen back to it. I'm like, what the hell did it say? Barkle.
Barkle, barkle.
But immediately, Annika decides that she's getting out of here because she sees that the town is having this little get together and everybody's skating, so she has to go and join in. And I'm confused why she didn't feel the need to disguise herself at all. Her parents forbid her from going out without her permission. So you'd think that she would not want to draw attention to herself, but she goes down there, and everybody knows immediately that
Yeah.
that she is the princess and that she's there.
She,
Like you'd think the
she's just like,
word would get
fuck
back to the
it.
king and queen, right?
Yeah, yeah, you would think. Maybe they never go outside, so
Maybe, I
they
don't
don't
know. Yeah,
know.
maybe they don't go outside, and so they want to push that lifestyle onto her.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
We don't go outside, therefore you do not either.
Yeah.
In the room, the bear is putting on these rings and stuff. It fits on a bear paw somehow.
Rings?
Yeah, like a ring with a jewel on it because it like goes into the chest with all of the stuff and like puts on this crown or whatever. And the rings fit her paws.
Hmm.
Some
It's autograph
fat
just a bunch
rings.
of fat rings. Yeah.
Anyways, just thought that was
Okay.
weird.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed on the skating rink, multiple Prince Nalus from Fairytopia.
Wow, I was looking to see if there were any doubles and I didn't see any. You have
Oh,
an eagle eye for these things.
I do. There was like two different versions of him.
In this universe, they're twins.
Hmm.
Prince Nalu. Also, no
Yeah,
one
shout out.
cares that the bear cub is on the ice rink. That's not weird at all.
Maybe that's normal. I don't know.
Maybe these bear cubs are just hanging out everywhere, just skating around.
I also hate when it gets up on its hind legs. It's, you know,
Yeah,
no, don't do
anytime the
that.
animal sidekicks do that, it looks really off-putting, kind of gross.
Yeah, it's like the animation just doesn't translate
No,
well.
it's like the arm joints type of thing, like them moving around. It doesn't look
Yeah,
natural.
it's a bad time.
So while we're out ice skating on this lake, this is when we get introduced to our main villain, Wenlock.
Yeah, he like flies in on a griffin, which is
Yeah,
quite the entrance.
the weather turns all dark and all the lights go off, and he rolls in and he comes up and says, "So gorgeous, where have you been hiding?" Just
Ugh,
mega
barf.
creepy vibes
Yeah,
from Wenlock.
disgusting.
And so Wenlock is out here basically kidnapping princesses to make them his wives. And
And
then
he's had like
when he thinks they're annoying, he gets a new one.
yeah, he has like he's gone through three
Three,
wives
yeah.
already. Yeah, he's a real Henry the Eighth. The yeah, I
Yeah.
guess he didn't murder his wives,
He
but
didn't. He didn't, which is good, I guess.
yeah, but what he did to them is pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
it's just weird. Like in a kids' movie, it's just like kidnapping women and making them his wife, and then just constantly getting new ones. That's weird.
yeah, I know. I thought that too.
Like I'm all for more adult storylines in these, like things that kids and adults can relate to. I think the gambling thing is a little bit better with that because as an adult you're like, oh, he's gambling away all this money, and as a kid you're just like, oh, he lost all the money, and you know, yeah. But this one's a little, a little weird,
Yeah, I don't
creepy.
know how much kids can relate to to that.
So he gives Annika 3 days to decide if she wants to be his wife, and he petrifies the entire town so that she needs to decide quickly because after 3 days it becomes permanent.
They're gonna be stoned forever.
Yeah. What is up with these movies and petrifying people? Because
Oh yeah, it
Nutcracker
was
was
in
also
like
the same. The
that
Mouse
was
King
the
also
Mouse King's
petrified
thing.
people.
Was it in any other movies?
Man, I feel like it was, but that's the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
I guess it's
but luckily,
an easy plot device because then those other characters don't have to do anything. Like they're just frozen, so they're like out of the movie for
it's
until you
easy to
save them.
animate.
Yeah,
That's a good
you can
point.
just ignore them.
Yeah. So a Pegasus swoops down out of nowhere and rescues Annika. Um, And then Wenlock is going, he goes like, chase her, women chase me.
But we
Do
find out
they?
later that is not true whatsoever.
It's not the case, bro.
Like, it's
It's
not a thing
delusional.
where, like, he's really attractive and then people are like, oh, sure, and then it turns bad. Like, he's a piece of shit from the start, and
Yeah.
he's just got evil face. Like, it's not like he tricks them at the start and then ropes them in. It's like he's evil from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. He does have kind of a fun character design. He's got like two different colored eyes.
He does, yeah. Those color
Yeah,
contacts or
which I
something.
didn't notice before.
Yeah.
And he's got some cool armor. But he's an asshole.
Yeah. Piece of shit.
Yeah, we hate him.
So the Pegasus takes Barbie to, or Annika, excuse me,
Yeah,
to the
Annika.
Cloud Kingdom, and I was surprised at how quickly they inform us that the Pegasus is this missing sister of Annika's that disappeared all these years ago. Like, when I saw the Pegasus, I think it kind of like came back to me. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, she's
The
this
sister.
sister that's gone. But I thought that they were going to be a little bit more coy about that and have it like come to the surface later. But like 5 minutes later, the are they sprites or just the little
The
like cloud
I think
children?
there's some kind of like minor goddesses because they like paint the dawn, they paint the sunrise and sunset.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was confused about what they were too.
These little cloud goddess children things.
They're all like Kelly clones.
They are, yeah. But one of them is just like, oh yeah, she's your sister. It's like, what?
I know.
That was it?
I thought the reveal would happen later, but they just go for it.
Yeah, because the Pegasus, before we find out that it's her sister for real, was also acting coy about it. Because Annika asked, like it was something like, "Do I know you?" Or like, "Who are you?" And she goes, "Just a friend." So like I was like, okay, well, they're gonna like save this for later, and nope,
And then it's
nope,
revealed like a
immediately.
minute later. Yeah, she could have just told her then.
I do have to ask your opinion on this. So the parents obviously were trying to protect Annika because Wenlock years ago came and used his spell to turn her sister into the Pegasus, and she flew off and left. How do you feel about her parents not telling her anything about this? Because they're trying to keep
Um,
her in the castle, and they moved really far away to this faraway kingdom so that they could escape Wenlock, but there didn't seem to be any stakes as to why they didn't let her out.
yeah, I think it's kind of messed up. And messed up that they didn't try to like I don't know, they just moved on to daughter number 2 and they didn't really do much. I don't know how much they could do, but I don't
Well, I
know.
think part of it was that she did just leave. They were trying to help her, and none of the spells or none of the things that they tried to do changed her back, and then she just decided to leave, like the
Yeah,
her sister. So I don't know if
that's
I
true.
would
They didn't
fully blame the parents because she just left.
Yeah, they didn't kick her out or anything.
No, it wasn't like she turned into Pegasus and they're like, disgusting, get out of here.
Yeah, but it is kind of messed up that they wouldn't tell Annika about her sister. Just kind of like keep it a secret. And I get that they were trying to protect her, but also like if they had told her, here, hey, here's the reasons why we don't want you to leave the house. Let me explain this, and then maybe she would have been more inclined to stay inside, or they could have like she would have actually understood where they were coming from and not just that they're trying to ruin her life.
Yeah. They say near the end of the movie that they just didn't know how to tell her, and I guess I could kind of see why. I don't know how you describe that you had an older sister who got turned into a Pegasus by this creepy dude that wanted to take her as his bride, and then you had to move away. But at the same time, I don't know. It probably should have found a way because she kept
Yeah.
on leaving. She kept on going out to do this to do the ice skating stuff. It's just like,
Mm-hmm. Maybe
but
they
if
could have built an indoor ice rink.
they could have, they probably got the money for it.
Yeah.
But if
I
they
also
told
have.
her, there wouldn't be a movie, most likely.
You're
So,
so right.
you know,
I had a question. Maybe you can help me figure out the timeline of this
okay,
because I was trying to figure out the age difference
right, me
between
too.
Wenlock and Annika. Because if he tried to get with the sister whose name is Brietta, if he tried to get with Brietta, like what?
So if we're
It must have
assuming
been when.
that Aunt Annika is 16, let's just say she's
Yeah.
16, and it
Uh
also
huh.
sounded like she was born after
Yes.
Brietta disappeared or left. So
Yeah.
there has to be at least a 16-year gap between when he first came to try and get Brietta and now.
Yeah. So how old was he when he came to get Brietta? Because he looks the same.
I mean, that's probably because of the magic, right?
Yes.
Do you think the magic works in the same way on Brietta? Because, spoiler alert, she turns back into a human later on in the movie and she looks
What?
exactly the same as when she was a human at the beginning before Wenlock showed up. Like, are
Yeah.
you in like stasis? Is your like human
Huh.
form in stasis?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't think about
So
that.
like, if well, also her parents look the same, so I don't know what happened to
Yeah.
them.
Maybe
Uh
people just don't age.
I think they don't got enough model money.
Yeah. That's the real answer.
If the parents weren't there, I'd say that the magic is keeping them uh the same look, I guess.
Mhm.
Like if she had been gone for like 100 years and then got turned back into a human, she'd look the same.
Yeah. Yeah. But like the parents look the same in the flashback,
Yeah,
so it's like they haven't aged either.
maybe they aged really gracefully.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody is just
Because
aging super
yeah,
gracefully.
that would mean that like let's just assume that Brietta was also 16
Yeah.
when when all that stuff went down. But from when they first had kids, that would be 32 years for the parents.
Oh. Hey, they're as old as me.
Yeah. And if so, they would at least have to be into their 50s now. And you'd think we're
Oh
looking
yeah.
too deep into this. But
I just wanted to know the age difference because it's real creepy. Whatever it is,
oh,
it's
also
bad.
yes, this dude, I think he's like a pedophile or something, like something
Yeah, it,
along those lines. I mean, he's already like an abuser and a kidnapper, but he's towing a line.
that's right.
I guess it's olden times, and in olden time, like in like medieval times, that this is taking place. If that's what you want to go with, but it's a little weird.
Yeah, especially if they're 16 and he's, I don't know, 50 something.
I don't know how old he is either. Then again, we technically don't know how old any of these characters are. I
No.
don't think it's said. So she could be 18, 20. I have no idea.
Either way, it's real creepy and I'm not a fan.
I mean, yeah, it's creepy in general. When he went to get Brietta in the flashback, or try and get Brietta in the flashback, I was surprised at how quickly he just like gave up and turned her into a Pegasus. Like
Yeah.
he's going after all of these women, and it was like a minute or 2 minutes. It's like, no. It's like, okay, well, Pegasus.
Yeah, it was immediate. Oh, and
Like,
he had this great pun too. He was like, "You'll see I'm not horsing around." And then he turns her into a
super
Pegasus.
clever.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd laugh real hard. Yeah, but he just gives up. He's like, all right, well, whatever.
Yeah.
See ya.
He does seem to give up pretty fast on
I guess
these
he assumes
women.
that there's more out there that he can kidnap or something.
Yeah. Moving on, we meet the Cloud Queen in the Cloud Kingdom. And just like the Fairy Queen in Swan Lake, she is absolutely useless.
Yeah, I noticed that too. She can't do shit.
No, they're like, can you help us defeat Wenlock? And she's like, nah, nah, I can't.
His
Sorry.
magic's too powerful. I
Yeah,
have no
you're on your
idea. I
own.
can't do anything. I mean, again, if she could, then it'd just be like a cheat code. Like,
Yeah,
can you stop
I
him? Yeah, all
know.
right.
The movie's
But it
over.
is funny that they're basically there as moral support. Like,
Yeah.
they're just there to be like, oh, yeah, you can do it. Or, like, I guess they also. Did she provide information on the scepter wand?
Yes,
She did.
she did. She told Annika she has to build a wand of light. And the ingredients for that are a measure of courage, a ring of love, and a gem of ice lit by hope's eternal flame.
Cryptic freaking riddles.
Well, but then Annika goes, "That's only three
I don't.
things. We can do it."
Well, that's
Wow.
simple. I can
Love
count
your
that on one
positivity.
hand.
Oh, that'll be easy.
Done. And then Brietta's
Yeah.
over here just like, it can't be done. It's impossible. I can't do it. I'm lazy. I don't want to go. And then and Annika's
Well,
like, we're
well,
going.
hadn't Brietta been actually trying to do that for maybe like how not probably not 16 years, but um I think she had been trying to do it
I would have
and
hoped.
failed.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
was a huge failure, I guess.
Hmm.
Because they get started on this right away and immediately start to find these pieces.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and Annika goes, "Where do we start?" And Brietta's like, "The deepest, darkest part of the Forbidden Forest." She's like, "Yeah, of
Yeah.
course, that's where you start."
Yep. Of course, yeah. It always has to be in the nasty forest.
Yep. So they fly down, and then I think like Shiver immediately falls down a slide.
Yeah, well, so she falls down a slide, and then Brietta and Annika get caught up in these traps.
Yeah,
And this is when we meet Aiden, the
yeah.
non-prince, just the dude of
Not
this movie.
yeah.
Did you
Just
notice the
Aiden.
voice actor
Yes, he
of
is like
yeah,
everyone.
Stefan, Prince Daniel, and King Dominic?
And Sutton,
Oh my God, he's Sutton.
apparently. Yeah, because I looked it up, and I thought he would be somebody in my scene, but I didn't think he'd be Sutton. I didn't like recognize his voice there. Well, because he was doing the weird like Cockney accent, right?
Yeah, that's probably why we didn't notice him.
Yeah, but he's like in every movie.
They kept calling back for him again and again. But
Yeah, he's good.
his voice, it just matches that character model because the dudes all look like the same.
Yeah, it's the exact same. He's got the same little haircut
Yeah.
and
So
like
he just rolls in, and it's just the same guy. It's like alternate universe King Dominic or alternate universe
yeah.
Stefan or something.
He's much more of an asshole though.
Yeah, he is.
It was at the beginning. It's kind of
He
like
mellows out pretty quick.
yeah, yeah, but he's kind of rude and he helps them, but it's reluctantly. And he's also like a wand of light. You can't do that.
That's fucking stupid.
It doesn't exist.
I thought it was weird when they were in the traps and Annika says, "Don't move." Like, what is that gonna do? Like, we're
Why?
in the net. We can't go anywhere. We're not hidden. We're just out in the open in these nets. I don't
Hmm,
know what that was going to accomplish.
me either.
But he does cut them down. And then yeah, so they're trying to get him to help, and he's like, "No way." And then Annika just jumps down the slide. She's like, "Well, you're not gonna help me. Goodbye." She just
Yeah,
like goes down to
later.
trying to rescue Shiver.
Yeah, the slide looks really fun, but you would get so many splinters because it's like made out of a tree.
Hopefully it's smooth. It looked pretty smooth.
Maybe they like sanded it down and oiled it or something.
So the
Yeah, hopefully.
slide takes them directly into this troll. I'd like to think of him as an ogre. He reminds me of Shrek.
Yeah. Yeah, I called him an ogre too, but I think she called him a giant at some point. But yeah, he
He
has
he definitely is
Shrek vibes.
a giant in the sense that he is way bigger than they are. They
Yeah,
end up
he's huge.
in his cooking pot.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, it was great too because he eats an onion and then burps in their face, which is like
it
such
is
Shrek
Shrek.
behavior.
It is just
Yeah,
full Shrek. And he
he's
lives
OG
in this
Shrek.
swamp, and it looks like he lives in like a stump or something, or like,
Yeah, it's like the same house. Maybe they're related.
yeah, I don't know. Is Shrek in this universe? I hope he is.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah, me
cool.
too.
But
Yeah.
this is Ollie, and on the wiki he is a giant, so that is
Okay.
that is what he officially is. But he does look like an ogre,
Hmm.
and he's cooking up this meal, chopping up all of these vegetables. But it seems like he's chopping up a ton of vegetables, and the pot is barely like full at all with these
Yeah, the pot is
vegetables.
enormous.
Like he dumps in all these vegetables, and you can still see the bottom. They're like, it feels like he dumps in a lot of vegetables, and there's like 3 carrots and like some turnips or something.
It's gonna be mostly broth.
So Annika needs to figure out how to get out of this, and so she decides to trick the ogre giant Shrek by by just making him do these things by saying that this other giant was able to do this, but you're a weakling.
Yeah,
You're a
get
fucking
wrecked.
loser, so you can't do any of this. And so, of course, Ollie is a moron, and so he decides that he needs to prove that he can do all of these things. And he's just destroying his house. She said, like, oh, the other giant ripped the door off its hinges. Like, okay. And he just tears the door off the wall. And then at the
He's
end,
not the
she's like, oh,
brightest.
yeah, the giant that I know could take a chain and lock himself to a tree. And he's like,
And he just
okay,
goes for it. He's
yeah,
like, all right,
yeah.
I can do that.
And he does. And then he can't get free
Yep.
for a time. So she gets out and she starts running away, and then he like tears himself off of this this tree that's in his house, and then his whole house starts to cave in. It's like, well, you kind of
Oh,
deserve that.
yeah. Me to do.
I mean, you were the one that was like tearing apart your own house. There was a point in this scene where you could kind of tell that it was 3D because when he burps, he comes in really close. And so I think it was one of
Oh,
those
you're
3D
right.
burps, like Shrek
Yeah,
3D.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
pretty sure there was a burp scene in Shrek 3D.
There's gotta be. They couldn't pass that up.
Surprised there was no like fart scene or something with the ogre in this. It was just the burp.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad they just kept it to the burp.
And then he's kind of gone after that.
Until we get to
And
the
until we get to the bloopers.
bloopers.
But
Oh,
for the
so
rest of the
good.
main movie, he's gone.
Yeah, he just has the one scene. He's very much a scene stealer though.
He
He's
was. Yeah.
he's like kissing his bicep at one
Oh yeah.
point. It's really good.
Ollie could do anything. So then she of course rescues Shiver and gets back to the rest of the group. And the measure of courage was the ribbon
Yeah.
on her
She
head, but she was wearing it the whole time, so I guess the ribbon waited until it saw this courage that was tricking Ollie.
I thought she used the ribbon to climb out of the pot. Is that what happened?
Oh, she tied it to the carrot, right?
Yeah.
So she like
And
used it as like
then
a lasso and like got the carrot like stuck on the pot and then was able to climb out. But she had
yes.
it the whole time, right?
Yeah, but it was only after she was courageous
That's right.
that it turned into
So that
the
this was a
staff.
normal ribbon. Did any sort of courage? Could any sort of courage be counted as that?
Well, yeah, I feel like she was courageous from the get-go.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but I guess it didn't count. It
Hmm.
wasn't. It wasn't courageous enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Maybe
that
because
was
she
kind of
was
odd.
like sacrificing herself or, putting herself in harm's way to help Shiver. Maybe that
She could have
discourages.
just sacrificed Shiver. I would have been fine with that.
Just leave him in the pot. Leave her in the
Honestly,
pot.
yeah. Shiver fell down the slide. No, no.
Oh
Anyways,
no.
moving
Moving
along.
along.
Unfortunately, we keep having to save Shiver every time it gets into some predicament because it keeps coming back. These animal sidekicks are always the ones just absolutely messing stuff up.
Oh, I know. It's so
Um,
obnoxious. Oh, when she builds or when the ribbon turns into a staff, Aiden goes, "You actually think you're going to build a wand of light?" And Annika's like, "Did you see what just happened? Like, bruh, I'm doing it."
yeah, that was so weird. Like he just saw this ribbon sparkle and turn into a staff.
And
Is
he's
that
like,
just
"Nah."
normal? Is that how this stuff works? Like he's
Well,
seen
and then
that shit before?
he's like, "Okay, that was a little weird." Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, at the
okay.
end. He's like, okay, yeah. Odd, but still, I still don't believe it. But then all
Yeah.
she has to say is that like she wants to like make things right. Like basically like she wants redemption. And then he's like,
Uh-huh.
shit. I gambled away my parents' money. I also want redemption. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't take him long to change his tune.
Because she's the same as me, you know. She
Whoa.
needs redemption um for not getting married to Wenlock and then her parents getting petrified.
I don't know
I
if she needs redemption
She
for
needs
that.
redemption for going outside.
Oh, hmm.
And then he needs redemption because he gambled away his parents' money. Same
Yeah.
situation, I think.
Yeah, they're like the same person.
And so they have to find these other materials. And so they go and look for the gem next, right?
Yes. And that's where they meet Ferris,
Yes.
who gives me kind of like Gollum vibes. I mean, he's a human, but kind of the way he acts, kind of
Yeah.
creepy.
Just like a little weird gremlin looking dude with like a hunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Purveyor of all of these jewels. And of course, Shiver again is like super interested in all of these jewels.
Uh,
Like she tries to like
mm-hmm.
grab one of them at the end. He's like, hands off the
Yeah.
merchandise. Um, and so they're trying to get information out of Ferris, and Annika just gives him her like ice skates, and
Where was she keeping
yeah, I
them?
don't know, I don't know where she was keeping those, but it was weird because she offers them to him, and he's like, those have no value, like I don't want them, and then she goes, well, I guess we'll leave then, and he's like, no, 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 I want them. Like
Wait a
what?
second.
Like you could have just not given them the information. Like why did you need to give the information? Like if you don't think that the skates are like, did he just need something?
I think he just wanted more out of them. I think that was his kind of like bluff to try to
Hmm.
get them to give him more shit.
Well, that crumbled real quick.
Yeah.
It goes from those are worthless to give me those.
Yeah.
I need those skates. Like
Yep.
okay,
But he
uh,
does give them some intel about the gem.
it was like well because he wanted he was there right and so Aiden asks him like why didn't he get the gem if he was there and he was like I saw someone turn to dust or something and
Yeah,
it was
to
like damn
Ash.
that's metal
Yeah.
like
Whoa.
Ferris just standing there watching his friend just turn to dust
He's got a lot of trauma
like oh
from
my
that.
god like fair
Needs
enough
to
man
get some
I,
therapy.
I wouldn't take that I'm leaving
No.
that
Yep. Yep. It's not worth it.
nope losing more friends to dust. So now they know where it is and they head off, but little do they know that weaselly little Ferris over here is in contact with Wenlock
Fucking snitch.
to give them to give them their location. And when Wenlock shows up, he like he has the money to bribe him to give him the information, and then he just turns him into the rug, which looks like an LCD screen. Like he
I
looks
was
like he's in
thinking
the
that.
TV or something. Like
I was thinking he looks like. Do you remember those restaurants where they would have like screens in the floor? I think they had them at like Red Robin or something.
yeah, I do
He
remember
looked like
those.
that.
Just put him in Red Robin.
Yeah, because he was still like moving around. It was like his
Yeah,
face, and yeah, yeah,
and he is stuck in purgatory. Like
yeah.
he's
That's fine.
he's just there. Like, what is it like in there? I wonder. Like, is it just like a little
Yeah.
box? Like,
Yikes. I
I mean,
mean,
he
it's kind
does
of what
kind
he
of deserve
deserves.
it, yeah. But damn, he got
Yeah, it's rough.
he got fucked up. Yeah, so they're like walking along in this snow, and then Aiden is just like, "We got to stop. Have you thought about like how Brietta's feeling? She's been carrying you for hours."
Annika's like, no, we keep going.
I
Brianna's
don't
like,
have to
whoa.
walk. Brietta's
Yeah.
hauling my ass around.
Yeah, this is great. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and then so Annika, she thinks the gem is on top of this pillar of ice because she sees the light glint off of it.
Yeah, so they like stay the night in the cave, and then the next morning, it's like the morning dawn like shines off of the top of this mountain, and then there's a shine. But the shine isn't even the gem, because when they get over there, the gem is like within this cave. So it was
Yeah,
literally just the sun of the morning shining
on
off of this
ice.
mountain, and she assumes that that's it.
I know that, like, I was like, there are so many mountains. Why would you fixate on that one and be like, oh, it's there? Like, I know 100%
I
it's
guess
over
because it
there.
sticks out, because it's just hanging out in the middle of a crevice. Like there's nothing
I
else around it.
guess.
There's just this spire. Like it does stick out for sure, but it is really weird. I was like,
Yeah,
well,
she was just 100% convinced it was there. And she was right. But
yeah,
I was kind of
obviously.
like, how did you know?
It was something about the morning dawn, and she's like, well, it's obvious. Like the morning dawn and the shining sun.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Yeah. And so they use Brietta to fly over there. Did they just leave Aiden's horse there?
Oh, Aiden had a horse.
I think Aiden had a horse.
I forgot.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was weird because from what I remember, he was riding on a horse and they were walking through the snowstorm. And then
Oh.
they flew off, and obviously his horse isn't there, and I didn't see the horse anywhere. So I was like, that horse is
Oh.
just like, I guess the horse is fine hanging out there and assuming that they're going to get back the same day, but
Hopefully it won't freeze to death.
oh god. They come
It's
back and
real
it's just an
cold.
ice cube. Hopefully it's hanging out in the cave with like the fire that they
Yeah.
had. Yeah, they fly
I
over, and on this spire, they remove some of the snow off the wall. Thank God they removed it from this one spot, because that's where the text is that like
yeah.
says how to like open the stairs. But then Aiden can just read it, and his explanation is you learn a lot like out here.
Yeah, he could just read these runes. I'm like,
What
wow,
language
okay.
is that? Like
I don't know. But it
yeah.
says, beware, take only what you need, but never from greed.
It's a sick rhyme.
Hmm.
So they go into the cave, and there's all of these gems. And of course, we can't be
Oh,
taking
well,
any of these out of greed.
yeah. Well, and Shiver slides down the stairs again.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I lose track of how many times, because there's another one after this.
Uh huh. Oh, and this is when Annika almost slips. They're walking along this narrow ledge, and she almost like
She almost dies.
falls. Yeah, yeah. But then I was thinking, like, Brietta is a freaking horse. Like, how is she walking along this ledge? And couldn't she just fly?
You're right. Was Brianna down there with them?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
She came with them.
what the hell? I didn't even think about that. They could have flown over all of that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe she was tired from all the flying and
She did have to fly
carrying.
them over there. Oh, come on. She almost watched her sister die.
Yeah. Maybe she's a little
My
resentful.
God. Um, so they get to the gems, and Annika takes the gem, and it's fine because it's not out of greed. But then Aiden
Mhm.
takes the gem, and we think it's out of greed, but it's not. It's fine. But then Shiver takes one because that is purely out of greed because Shiver likes all the Barkle things.
Barkle, barkle.
And of course, once again, the animal sidekick in a Barbie movie tries to like destroy everything, and so the cave starts to implode on itself, and they have to like
Yeah, it's
haul
kind of
ass to
like
get
in
out of there. But they get
uh-huh.
out, and they make it.
Oh, there's this, there's a moment when Brietta's like scrambling up the stairs, and I remember laughing because it looked really funny.
Oh, really? I didn't
Just
notice.
the
Looking like a
animation.
gremlin or something. Like,
Yeah. Well, like her little hooves, like I don't know, it just looked really silly.
but yeah,
Yeah.
they get the gem, and that this is when we
Yeah.
also learn about Aiden's backstory because it was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, you took the gem, but it wasn't out of greed. Why was it not out of greed? And then he goes into, well, you know, I went and played blackjack with the boys at the pub and lost all my parents' money, and so I didn't go back.
Did you notice who he lost his money to?
No, I didn't. Who?
It was Ferris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have thought that he
That's
would have
probably where I met
like
him.
skinned Ferris for it or something, like killed him for it,
Wow. Damn.
because he
I didn't
seems to
know he
hold
was
like
that.
there's a lot of like resentment I think there.
Yeah,
You like, or
true.
at the very least, you'd think that there would be more resentment towards Ferris because you wouldn't have known that he lost all that money to him based on the interaction that he had with him in
Yeah.
his shop. It
Hmm.
was more so just like, yeah, I just got to deal with this guy. He's kind of a freak.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, I lost all my family's life savings to that dude.
Yeah. Hmm.
But oh well, he's over it, I guess.
Yeah. But he's going to use the gem to pay his parents back.
He is. Uh, so they also at this point get so they're trying to get this ring, the third
The Ring of
piece, the
Love.
ring of love, and it's the crown counts as the ring, I guess.
Brietta's crown. Yeah.
Yeah, that counts as a ring
Yeah.
because it's a circle and it's not
Hmm.
like a regular ring. But again,
Hmm.
they had all of these. They had two of the three items already. They
Yeah.
didn't like really. All they had to do was go and get the gem, and then they had everything. Because the courage to get the gem, I think, would have caused the ribbon to turn into the scepter because that's courage, and
Uh-huh.
then the crown was already there.
Yeah.
I guess they just had to meet Aiden,
Hmm.
but the forest was entirely unnecessary.
Yeah, they didn't have to even go to the deepest, darkest part of the Forbidden Forest. All right, yeah, so they get the Ring of Love, and then Annika uses the magical wand of light to turn Brietta back into a human. But now she can't fly anymore, and they're stuck on a mountain.
Yeah, what was up with as when she was turning her back into a person? I was like, shouldn't you be waiting until you like
maybe
go
maybe wait
back?
a
And
little
then
bit.
like immediately after they're like, oh shit,
Oh, fuck.
we
Whoops.
we should have waited. Should have waited so we
Did
could make
not
it
think this
back.
through. But Brietta has this little bell that the Cloud Queen gave her, which was the only helpful thing the Cloud Queen did.
Yep,
But she can ring the bell, and then a bunch of, or just two
a bunch,
Pegasi.
a ton of horses,
Yeah.
two of them.
So yeah, two.
She knows that there are two
Two
people on
show
this
up.
journey, so she knows that she only needs to send two of the horses.
Hmm. But Aiden doesn't get one.
Now, because he's going to repay his parents or something.
Hmm.
So they,
Yeah, Aiden goes to leave, and then Shiver just like hugs his leg, and it's just like,
it's really weird.
Yeah, make some unintelligible noises and
Just ugh, yeah, weird baby noises. It gets more and more annoying as the movie goes along. Just like
yeah.
I'm so done. I'm so done with Shiver.
Like, why did she take Shiver in the first place? Why would she think it's a good idea to take a baby polar bear on this
Yeah, well,
mission?
the animals provide no support for anything. Like they're
No,
not
they
helpful in
don't.
any way. They're like almost never helpful. Like
Yeah, except for like the Pegasus. Like
yeah, but that's not the animal psychic.
horses,
That's its
horses are
sister.
helpful. Yeah, yeah, but she could have just left the polar bear in the Cloud Kingdom.
And it would have been
Why?
safer. It would have been
Yeah,
safer for the polar bear for Shiver.
yeah. Don't take a baby on a dangerous mission.
don't
It's very
don't take a literal
irresponsible.
child out here. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just no point. There was no point to bringing Shiver along. But of course, it's the cute animal sidekick, right? Like,
Hmm. Hmm. We gotta sell toys.
oh my God, was there a Shiver toy?
I'm sure there was.
Ugh.
There has to be. Probably
Yeah.
like squeeze it and it'd make it go like barkle barkle.
Barkle. And then if you can if you have the Aiden doll, it can like hump his leg or something.
Oh God. That's not a perk.
So they leave Aiden. He's heading off to see his parents probably, and they fly to head back home to break this spell. But of course, because Wenlock knows that they are looking for this gem and he knows where they are, he finds them and they ensue this chase through the skies, and it was kind of weird. She tries to use the like scepter later because they made the scepter and it doesn't work, but she doesn't even try to use it when they're in this chase. Like I thought
Hmm.
that she would have like tried to like shoot him out of the sky or something when they were
Yeah,
being
you'd
chased,
think.
but no, she doesn't.
Yeah, she just lets him basically like destroy the Pegasi. They just like fall out of the sky and crumple on
Yeah.
the snow. Like there's got to be some broken legs there. It
Oh
looked
yeah,
bad.
it was brutal.
The
Like
carnage.
Brietta looked like she was dead for a second there, like in the snow.
Yeah.
And so Wenlock comes in, and Annika feels like she has no choices left, and she's like, "Oh, I'll marry you because
Wait, no,
the scepter,
before this, she uses the
the
scepter
scepter doesn't
and
work."
well, she's trying to like straight up kill him too. She's like, destroy him, make him pay. And nothing happens. And then she's just like, okay, I'll marry you, I guess.
But now Wenlock doesn't want it because now
Mm.
she tried to kill him, and now it's like, well, I don't want to marry you now because you tried to
Yeah.
kill me. So he like opens up this like he basically puts her on an island in the snow, like opens up this like hole around her, and then drops like an avalanche of snow on top of her. And when it drops, it looks like she jumps out of the way. But if she jumps out of the way, it like she would have jumped into the hole and like died. Because
Huh.
then Aiden shows up and digs for like 10 seconds and finds her
Yeah, I
in the
forgot about
snow.
the hole.
Yeah. Like if it was just the snow falling and there was no like, crevice around her, then it would make sense. Like, oh, okay, the snow drops, he digs her out. But like,
Okay,
it,
what if the snow filled up the hole? It'd have
maybe
to be a lot of snow, but
as long as she didn't jump out of the way into the pit because it looked like she jumped.
yeah,
Like
and
I
that
thought
was
she,
it was a pretty massive hole too.
yeah. But somehow,
Mm.
Aiden is there and manages to dig her out of this of
Yeah.
this hole. I don't know
Also,
how.
it's kind of fucked up. Like Brietta doesn't even try to dig her out. She just stands there, and then Aiden and the polar bear are digging, but Brietta's just like
She's dead.
watching. Yeah, like you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna stand there.
I guess that's her character, really. Like she's, I
She's
mean,
very
to
passive.
this extent, it's kind of fucked. Like for the other times,
Oh,
it's kind of just like maybe she's burned out. Like she doesn't want to like go and find this because she thinks it's impossible, and she always just like doesn't think
she just
anything is
gives up.
possible. But yeah, when it's her
Yeah.
sister who is possibly dead in this pile of snow, yeah, she doesn't do anything.
It's like it's pointless.
It's the
She's
guy
already
we met
dead.
like an hour ago, like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe she forgot how to use her human hands. But
Maybe, or maybe the fall like broke her arms. She can't
maybe.
dig. But they find her and she's alive somehow in there, and they take her up to the Cloud Kingdom. They bring her back to life. They just resurrect her. So she lived.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
And then they go to Wenlock's lair, and they apparently Aiden is a very good ice skater too.
Yeah,
So
that came
they
out
ice
of
skate in
nowhere.
there.
He's also a god. They're both like
Yeah.
Tony Hawk on the ice. Like they are like hauling ass through this basically like skating course that Wenlock
Yeah.
has to get to his palace.
Yeah, and apparently at one point they go off this huge ramp and they're just like flying through the
They
air.
jump across that big crevice and like the ground gives way right after they go over it. But this
Yeah.
was another moment when Shiver like goes down, like slides
Yeah.
down, and then it ends up on Aiden's leg or head again.
Oh,
It's just like
of course.
magnetizes to him.
Uh,
Ugh.
is this barren heat? I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't
what's
know.
going on.
It is really after Aiden. So they make it through
um,
the gauntlet to get to the base of the lair, and
mhm.
of course the griffin is like flying around and it spots them, and Aiden has to go off and fight this thing. So a really clunky fight scene.
Uh-huh.
He's like using his sword and just like whiffing on a lot of these and
hmm
super
Well, then
slow.
the griffin just smacks him off the cliff too.
Yeah, and he lives.
Yeah, don't worry, he's
He
fine.
lives. Not only does he live, but she loses the gem of the staff. So she goes up and finds the staff, and they go through this whole thing with Wenlock. This is we also see the three wives again. We saw them earlier, but we didn't talk about them earlier. He basically turned them into trolls,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and like
fucked up.
slave trolls, because he's there. Like they have to
hmm
cook all the food for him and like do all this stuff and clean, and
Yeah, and they don't really speak either. They kind of just like mumble
yeah, they like
at each
grunt.
other.
I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
if they
weird.
lost their ability to talk, but
Yeah, it's unclear.
Brietta did not, even though she
Yeah.
turned into the Pegasus. So you would think not. Like maybe they've just been beaten down so much that like that they don't want to talk anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like no point. It's fucked up.
Yeah, ugh. It's super
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah, it kind
Um,
of yeah. It's very sickening and not in a
yeah,
good way.
but yeah, the gem ends up falling off of the staff, and it like falls off the cliff. And so Aiden comes back up the cliff. One, he lives, which is crazy. And two, somehow he caught the gem on its way down and just brings it back. Or wait, was that his? Was that his
Oh, it
gem?
was his. It
That's
was
right.
maybe
It
it was
was
in his
his gem.
pocket or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
He didn't end up
Okay,
going to his family. That's right.
that's a little bit more believable, but
Still, he
still.
lived that huge drop and somehow
Yeah.
climbed all the way back up.
Well, the things you learn in the Forbidden Forest.
Yeah, apparently. He learns this like ancient scripture and mountain climbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's totally fine, and then he gives Annika the his gem. She's like, "Oh, but you need to use this to pay your family back." It's like it's
No, they're
fine.
fine.
Yeah. You need it more.
The fam is chilling. And
Yeah, so then she has the wand again. Um, well, the troll wives have the wand. They pick it up, and there's this moment where like Wenlock's like, "Give it to me," and Annika's like, "Give it to me," and then they decide to give it to Annika, which was the right
it
choice.
was the right choice. I think it took them a long time to come to that conclusion.
Yeah, but they've been abused
I
for
guess
so
so.
long.
They're just psychologically manipulated.
Yeah.
But they saw through it. They figured
Mm-hmm.
it out. We also figure
Well,
out that you can't use the staff if you're going for bloodlust.
yeah, if you're
And
trying to
then
fucking kill people.
rip his spine out. It doesn't work. Behead him.
Uh-huh.
And so she just goes to try and remove the spell, basically.
Yeah, she was just like, basically, yeah, remove all of Wenlock's spells. So then, well, she also gets a glow up too for some reason.
Yeah,
So
that was weird. What?
that wasn't part
Like,
of
why did? Yeah, so they
this
break the spell, and why did she get a makeover?
because it's a Barbie movie.
Like, oh man, man, the dress that you're wearing looks awful. You need a different dress for
Yeah,
using this staff. You can't be using this staff with that dress. Oof.
makeover.
Yeah. But yeah, the
Yeah,
spell
but
gets
then
broken, and the three wives get turned back into normal people again, and Wenlock turns into this like scraggly little dude.
yeah, he's like sad and balding, and he has an oar for some reason.
That
Like,
was the ore, I guess, is what he. Well, I thought it was because that was like the the scepter, but he got the scepter from somewhere. He stole it, right? Or did he just steal the essence of magic?
yeah, how did he get the magic in the first place?
He
Did they
he
ever
stole it
address that?
from some sorcerer,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, I assumed that he had the ore in his, old life. Maybe he was like a
a
I don't
boatman.
know, a fisherman or boatman. I don't know. But he had an oar. Also, the griffin was a cat originally, and it turns back into a cat.
Which is sad. Why did the cat have to be evil?
I know.
Because he looked evil even after turning back into a cat.
Yeah, that cat's fucking evil.
And of course, the petrification also is removed. Do you think they're sentient under the petrification? Because they
Yeah.
seem like when they kind of came to, they're like, oh, thank you, oh my god, I'm back. Like, were they just
Yeah, I
like
bet.
sitting there and they can like see everything, but they can't move for like
Oh,
days?
that's horrific.
Yeah, they're just trapped in their own bodies,
Oh God.
can't get out.
Yeah, the people who made this movie probably didn't think about that,
Yeah, probably not.
but yeah,
But the day is
they're
saved.
probably in there.
And it was also very
Yay.
satisfying when the three ladies are like forcing Wenlock to like row them across this water, like just like getting back at
Yeah.
him for all of the years that they suffered.
I feel like they should have killed him though. Like if it were me, I would have killed him.
Well, the wand doesn't work with bloodlust.
You have hands to strangle him
Strangle
with.
him? Did they just
Yeah.
kill him off screen?
Or like push him into the water, hold his head down in the water. It's
Well,
not that hard.
look, I think that it was the smart move because they needed to get back to land. So they use him to get
Oh.
back to
And
land, and then you can do whatever you want with him.
then you kill him. All right.
Because we've been through this once before where we turned Brietta back into the person and didn't think about how we needed to get back home.
So true. You're right. I was getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, we need to use him for our own gain
Mhm.
first.
I'm in my head they kill him off screen.
But yeah, now the day is saved, and the parents get to see their daughter again, like original daughter, the
Yay.
OG daughter
Yeah. Oh,
that they've
daughter.
replaced with the
Daughter
new
number
new
one.
daughter.
New model, the new more optimistic model.
Yeah, that's probably pretty weird for them when they No, actually, I was gonna say it'd be weird that they saw her 16 years later and they look the same, but they also look the same, so I guess not.
Yeah, yeah, that's just normal.
And then Aiden and Annika are now married, or
Oh, are
whatever,
they
or
married?
like together.
Oh, yeah,
They're
they're
like full
together
on
because he
together. I assume
he
they're married
brings
because they always get
her.
married at the end of these movies.
That's true. We just didn't see it happen, but it's probably implied marriage.
Yeah,
But
and
he takes her back to his fam, and she's there at the like he walks in first and goes up to his dad, and the dad goes like, Aiden. I
you're
don't know the
back,
way he said it.
Aiden.
He's Aiden. He said
You're
it like
back.
3 times too, in the same way. It really tickled me.
But they would love him no matter what, even if they lost all of their money. There
Yeah,
was no
it's okay.
animosity there.
Yeah, and then he introduces his dad to Annika. I believe that's when she shows up.
Okay. And then they end on this cloud top ice skating rink, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, man, it looks like so much fun. I was thinking it would be really funny if one of them like skated and then like flew off the
Flew off
edge.
into just fell to
Yeah.
their death.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe the Pegasus would come
The
catch him or
horses, yeah.
something.
And then at the end, we get some bloopers, but they're not
The
the
bloopers are
bloopers
top tier.
with
I love them.
Ollie the the Shrek. He's British, and
Yeah, he's
so
like the sophisticated British gentleman all of a
yeah,
sudden, or that his actor
he's like,
is.
I think that Ollie would say something a little bit different when he's talking about his food. He need, and then they're like, no, we just want Ollie to say, "Me want lunch."
And then he goes, 12 years of theater for this. I like he like became my favorite character
So
after the
good.
bloopers.
My tag is Ollie
Yeah.
because man, I cannot survive without my lunch.
Yeah,
I
that's
need that
fair.
food. I can't rip the door off the wall though, so
No, you're not strong enough.
no,
You
I'm not.
weakling over
I
there.
am a weakling,
But could
but
you
I do
chain
get hungry.
yourself to
I could
to
probably chain myself to something. I don't think I would
yeah?
be able to like tear off the wall to get off of it,
Mm,
but
wow. Yeah, I
I'm
guess you're
also not
not that
British,
strong.
unfortunately. But
Mm.
he's got a very good ogre accent that he puts on.
Yeah, yeah. He has another blooper too later where he's skating. He's ice skating with them on the in the clouds.
Yeah,
It's very good.
yeah. They're all really good skaters in this movie.
Hmm.
There was
Yeah,
also
it's
a point
impressive.
where Annika and Aiden were like exchanging pager like contacts. It
Yes.
was
We find out
crazy.
we find out Barbie's email is Barbie@Barbie.com.
I'm surprised it's not Barbie at Barbie.Barbie.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything
true.
is Barbie in this. And then
Yeah, but
what?
she's
Aiden gets like annihilated by the Griffin like
yeah,
partway
and Griffin
through.
comes out of nowhere and just takes him out. It's such a good blooper.
But yeah, pagers are like canonical in the Barbie universe.
Yeah. Wow.
Just
And
exchanging those
then I
contacts.
think what is it, maybe the last blooper is Barbie laughing during takes when she's like lying in the bed.
Yeah, and Aiden has to keep
Um,
saying "please wake up" like 20 times.
and then he turns around and we see he has a clown nose on,
Yeah,
which is why she was laughing.
it's just not working for me, you know. High quality humor.
Yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed the bloopers
Yeah,
this time.
super good. Just the fact that Ollie is like, why did they think to do that? It's like, oh, let's make him British. Like,
Yeah, no,
super
it's great.
weird.
I love it.
But yeah, the bloopers are super good. And that's the end of this movie. Did you have a tag?
I did, yeah. It was so there's the three Kelly clones who are
The
the little
three, yeah,
goddesses,
the little goddess cloud
little
children.
cloud children. And one of them is like falling asleep the whole
all the
time.
time. Yeah.
And I relate to that. I feel like I'm exhausted all the
I had a
time.
feeling you were going to pick that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
I had a feeling.
You get it.
Let's get into these rankings before we get into the overall movie ranking as a whole. The animal sidekick Shiver is bad, not the worst. I went with a D for Shiver
I
because I have seen significantly worse. Uh, like there are definitely some major F tier animal sidekicks later on,
yeah.
and Shiver was more so just like a little bit annoying. Like never, it was annoying, but I could deal. I could survive.
I also gave Shiver a D.
Yeah,
Just like, yeah, really annoying, but not the worst.
yeah. There's way worse. That doesn't mean Shiver's a good character though. I still hate Shiver quite a lot. Um,
Yeah.
and I just don't understand why the animals always have to get in the way and like ruin stuff. But
Yeah, I guess because there has to be some kind of conflict, and Barbie's like too perfect to mess up. So they have to have another creature that messes up.
yeah, that's true. Villain Wenlock. What did you give for your ranking of Wenlock?
I also gave him a D.
Okay.
I really didn't like him. He's such a creep, and that was like his only thing was just being creepy. And I don't know, just he just grossed me out.
Yeah, he
It's
did
not
gross
a
me out.
fan.
I gave him a C though because I felt like the major creep vibes raised the stakes for me. Like as a
Mm,
villain, he was a lot more despicable than some of these other villains, and at the end of the day, that's kind of what you want from a villain. You want higher stakes and you want more satisfaction when they are taken out. And I feel like I
that's
got that.
true.
Like when they took him out, it was super satisfying when the spell was broken and the ladies came back to normal again, and he turned into his like gross old self. Like it was super satisfying because he's just a piece of shit. Like super
Yeah,
disgusting.
that's
Like
true.
he's not like top tier villain or anything, but I gave him a C because I thought that the despicableness made him more of a good villain in the sense that you wanted to see him defeated.
That's fair. Like the payoff in the end was good
Yeah.
because he was the worst. Yeah, I'm fine bringing it up to a C. You make a good point.
Also, color contacts.
Yeah, no, his eyes were really cool. Like his character design was pretty good. I
Although
enjoyed it.
I will say, if he has all of this power and he wants all of the ladies, he could have made himself way hotter.
Maybe
Like
that's what like he thinks he's like that's his version of hot. That's kind of how he sees
maybe,
it.
yeah.
Because he could have, yeah, he could have made himself like
Like he still
uh,
would have been this like despicable human underneath it, but he could have been more attractive. But like
mm-hmm.
the first thought that all of these people have around is just like ew. Like yeah.
Yeah. Barf.
So I don't know what Wenlock was thinking there.
Yeah, yeah, I know. He could have
If he
like
wanted the wives thing, right? I don't know. That's what he
yeah,
chose,
why did he choose that?
to just be evil looking. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
a choice.
the movie as a whole, how did you feel about how'd you feel about this one?
Hmm. I'd be between a C and a D. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like as good or as memorable as some of the other movies. Um, I as I was watching, I realized it's kind of reminded me of Frozen. There was like
Yeah, it
it
kind of
felt
does
like
have
OG
that
Frozen.
quality.
You got the annoying wintry sidekick. You got the enemies to lovers romance. There's the sisterly love, and then the kind of like snowy setting. So,
This was
um,
years before though.
yeah,
So did
yeah.
Frozen
Did
copy the
Frozen
Magic of
before?
Pegasus?
That's what I think.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I went
Um,
I went a little higher. I gave it a B.
oh wow.
Maybe that's just because of the My Scene movies, and like some of those were like pulling teeth. But this one,
Yeah,
despite being like 70 minutes long, I was surprised at how quickly it was moving along. Like there was always stuff happening. Like I never felt like it's like super bored. Like it moved along at a pretty good clip. Again, when I like the more adult themes of Wenlock and Aiden's backstory. Wenlock is a little a little on the creepy side. The age stuff gets a
a
little
little.
weird, but we also don't know exactly what's like what the deal is there. But that was his character of just being like a mega creep. And so I
Yeah.
think, in terms of making him evil, it worked in his favor. Um, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this one. I liked. I enjoyed Aiden's character. I mean, he was a dick at the beginning,
Yeah.
but after his turnaround, um, I thought he was a good companion. But
Yeah, he had
I'd
some good character development.
I'd be willing to move that to a C. I think it's a solid enough Barbie movie. It's not the best Barbie movie out there, but um, you're not gonna be bored.
I think also I was like one of the Cloud children who's falling asleep all the time. I was like exhausted yesterday, so I was watching this movie and like trying not to fall asleep. But I don't think that's the movie's fault. I think that was just I was tired.
So you wanna give this one a C if you're going C or D, and I'm going B. Do you wanna
Yeah,
meet
let's
in the
meet in the
middle and
middle.
give it a C?
Sounds good
It's
to
a
me.
solid Barbie movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I loved Ollie. Ollie and the bloopers.
Ollie the Shrek. And that will be it for Barbie the Magic of Pegasus. It was good to get back to Barbie movies after some My Scene stuff.
Real breath of fresh air.
It's good to be back. And on next month's episode, we're going to be taking a look at Mermaidia. That's going to be a throwback.
I'm so excited. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, before we finish off, little goofs. This comes from the Barbie movies wiki yet again. When Annika and Shiver are trapped at Ollie's pan, we can see Annika's purple ribbon was missing a few times. Apparently,
Oh.
that disappeared. I saw this one. When Ollie's chopping up an onion to throw into the pan, a clip is reused of a turnip falling into the pan instead of the onion.
Oh.
So, like,
I
he's like
didn't catch
chopping
that
the
one.
onion, and then it cuts back to the pot, and the turnip falls in there, which is interesting.
Yeah.
And then this last one, I tried to see if it was there, and I could kind of see it. Annika's dress is long. However, it suddenly becomes 3/4 length when her and Aiden are skating to Wenlock's place. And then it becomes long again when she arrives. So when they're skating. Like, did she
Oh.
just, like, hike it up and, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
somehow
maybe she
hiked it up? Because it's probably easier to skate
yeah,
with,
yeah, and then just
with that
untied it.
stuff.
Hmm. I feel like that
And
one could be explained.
yeah, I think so. Other little bits of trivia. On Trademarkia, the film was originally named Barbie 3D: The Treasures of Pegasus.
Oh, the treasures of Pegasus.
I think the Magic of
Okay.
Pegasus is better because
Yeah.
the
Rules.
Pegasus is not, the treasures are not hers.
Well, the
specifically.
crown was hers.
I guess the crown was hers, but only that. The
Yeah, because
ribbon
Annika
was
had the
Annika's.
ribbon. The treasures of Annika and Pegasus and the gem.
Yeah. There's a storybook for this movie, and Annika was originally named Brianna or Brianna. I don't know how they're going to pronounce
What?
it. It's got two N's though, unfortunately.
Oh, that's fun. Brianna and Brietta.
No, Brianna's not named Brietta. You want to guess what Brianna's
Oh.
name is? You're never going to guess it. Her name is
Okay,
Peg.
tell me. Oh my god. Really?
Peg. Brianna and Peg. And
Real creative, guys.
and the Cloud Kingdom was originally named Cloud City. It wasn't really a
Cloud
city. There was
City.
like 4 people there.
Yeah.
And then this is also the first and only Barbie film to be released in 3D. And the first time two Barbie movies were released in the same year. Definitely not the last.
Wait, was it Fairytopia or Mermaidia that was released?
It was Fairytopia. So
Okay.
Fairytopia came out in March, and Magic of Pegasus came out in September. Then they one-upped it because in 2006 they released 3.
Oh my god.
So
really cranking them out.
Yep. So that is the trivia for Magic of Pegasus and all the little goofs.
Well, I noticed a goof that
Oh,
wasn't mentioned.
Really? What goof did you see?
It was towards the end after they had defeated Wenlock and the Pegasuses came down to pick him up. But there was a shot where, what was it? You see, there was all of them standing there, the whole gang, including like the wives and
Oh, I think I saw this too. They disappeared, right?
Yeah, they disappear. Yeah, they're not there in the next shot. And then in the shot after that, they're back.
That's right. I forgot about that. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Super weird. Yeah, like the like cave entrance is just like empty.
Like where'd they go?
Yeah, and then they cut back and they're still like they didn't leave. Like
no,
they're still there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I mean that's happened in some of these movies before. I mean, last month in Goes Hollywood, they had that scene where they were like panning up from the runway, and the dude was just gone. No one was there. Ryan just disappeared.
Yeah.
Happened again.
Won't be the last time, I'm sure.
So that's going to do it for us on this month's episode of the Barbie Council. New episodes release on the first Monday of every month. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts. And make sure to follow us on your podcast service of choice so you never miss out on an episode. We're also on YouTube at the Barbie Council, and there you can watch the video version of the podcast launching alongside the audio version every month. And subscribe to the channel so you can be notified of each episode.
If you want to follow our podcast on social media, we're at Barbie Council on Instagram and at Barbie Podcast on Twitter. Our email is thebarbieCouncil@gmail.com. And if you want to follow me, Brianna, I'm at Brianna Valine on both Instagram and Twitter.
And I am also on Twitter as well at Kevin Valine, so you can follow me there. So until next month, when we watch Barbie Fairytopia Mermaidia, meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.